Yeah. Right there.
I don't have a podcast or anything like that, but I've always wondered, how do you get, you can throw a podcast out there, but how do you attract listeners? I mean, there's thousands and thousands of podcasts, where do you go to get reasonable publicity?
You have to know Paul F. Tompkins.
The good thing is he'll say yes to anything.
I cannot get him on the Dork Forest. And I've known him for 20 years.
Really?
He's just too tired and busy.
Yeah, it's hard to pin down, yeah.
Honestly, yeah, I have a podcast, and when I got him on there, I all of a sudden had so many listeners. It was great. Besides that, how do you, I don't know, just keep plugging away. Just put it up everywhere.
Well, the thing about I've been doing mine since 2006, and so I did Blog Talk Radio,
impressive.
ground floor of a non-money making venture.
Get in. 2006. That's incredible.
It was a call-in. It was the Dork Forest, is what it's called. I did a live one here with John Scalzi last night.
Did he know he was in it?
He did know. But it was a call-in initially. It was Blog Talk Radio, and Sound of Young America reviewed it, and it said that it sounded like holding up a phone to an AM radio, and they were correct. And there are 200 episodes if you want to go look for those. And but then I went to pre-recorded, and so if you want to start a podcast, you literally, if you go to Libsyn.com, Libsyn, give them $20 a month, I believe. His name is Rob. And I hope he's sitting on a pile of Scrooge McDuck money, because I've talked to no one but Rob for the last 6 years, which I've done pre-recorded. And it automatically gets uploaded to iTunes and stuff. So they do sort of the hard part of it. All you have to do is record it. You upload it to the internet, to your to the site there. It creates a website, and then the real work begins. But at least it's there, you know.
Can you spell the name of that?
Libsyn.
Liberated Syndication.
Is what it stands for, yeah. And it's because there's bonus content, you can make it as fiddly or as straightforward as you want, and then becomes the job of trying to get guests and to publicize. But you should know before you make the podcast what kind of podcast you want. You know, what's it gonna be about?
Yeah, and I don't know. I'm sure some people will disagree with me, but I just kind of gave myself permission to just do it and put it up and not worry so much. And it did get better. You go and you listen to earlier ones and they don't sound great, but whatever. Like, sometimes you just have to make something and put your shit out there and just know that that's the process of creating, you know?
I think that the more specific and narrow the focus of the podcast, the better, because, you know, it's all niche now, you know, but the good thing is I think there's a niche audience for just about anything.
And you know 1,700 sea monkeys.
Yeah.
So that does help.
There's the basis of your audience right there.
And I think that you're right. You should, because you'll get better at it by doing it. And if you never do it, you're never going to get better at it. So you might as well just fucking do it.
Yeah, and to speak to the niche thing, like, you can't please everyone. So just, what you want to talk about, what you're annoyed by, what you're shaking your fist at, stick to that. Like, don't try to, you'll find your people.
And that podcast audiences thrive on repetition and regular segments, a particular structure that you do every week that they can come back to, and it's comforting to know of, like, this is going to be the structure, and then you can add variation and break out of that structure as need be. But I think that's something that inspires, like, brand devotion to a particular podcast, of knowing of, like, oh, they're always going to do this segment. I love this segment, or whatever. Or they have inside jokes.
Every week.
Yeah, that speak to me.
And standardize. Like, you make sure that, this is going to come out every Monday. It's going to come out every Friday. And then if you do a bonus episode, people are psyched or they're overwhelmed. It doesn't matter. But if you have one a week for sure, then there's commitment. It helps.